Alrighty. Welcome to the live stream. If you're watching this right now, that's because you're on the live stream, you're in the lobby, or you're watching a couple hours after. These live streams, I saw someone in the chat said, they will be a new thing during the summer and also continuing into the season. We've done them in the past, but we're bringing them back. And yeah, we're going to try and draft a league-winning fantasy football team with all of you. Be sure to throw in any questions that you have throughout, anything you want to ask. I have chat all up. We're ready to rock and roll. We're going to do a 30-second draft here. I have my rankings, my tiers is what I'll be drafting specifically off of here. I'm going to try and queue up, assuming 30 seconds is enough time. I don't think 20. If it was just me drafting at a cafe, I'd do 20 seconds, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. But what's going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, so if you're not familiar, we do these live streams during the season, maybe once a week. I'm going to be upping that to 2 to 3 times a week, and then heading into the year, 1 to 2 times a week, maybe even more, depending on how my schedule allows. So any questions you have, this will kind of give you an idea of just how I'm viewing draft boards. It'll be a little bit different because this is obviously a best ball draft where the ADP and the strategy and the stacking and the week 17 and the correlation is all completely different, right? And we have different goals here of beating a massive field of like, what is this contest, right? 672,000 people, $15 million in prizes, right? So 672,000 people, there's a much different strategy you're going to have in fantasy drafts when you're competing with that amount of people versus 11 people in your home league, right? You have to take some shots. You have to think a little bit differently, unique, right? So what's going on, everybody? I see the questions coming in. They'll start to populate on the screen as well as we go through this. So yeah, just get your questions in and we'll do this bad boy. Let's rock and roll. Cool. Alrighty. I'm going to start this draft off, get a draft lobby in. I assume it'll be pretty darn quick. And we'll go from there. Let's see what draft pick we get. We need 11 more people. So if you want to get into this draft, you can go into Best Ball Mania. And I'm sure pretty quickly this will fill. So if you want in this draft with me, go in. Just click the next Best Ball Mania and you'll be in here as well. Hopefully this fills faster than I thought it would for July. I'm pretty sure it will, just based on the volume that they're doing right now. There we go. I'm drafting Sal's Barber 101. Yeah, I went to the barber shop on Monday, so this fade's a couple days old. If you don't know about me, you probably watched from the Flock League and picked up on it. I get my hair cut once a week, potentially, and this week is one of those potentiallys. The lobby's filling. Cool. Sometimes I go every 5 days, which I know sounds absolutely crazy. Some people like to spend their money on whatever you spend your money on. I spend my money on food and drinks with friends and haircuts, because when I just feel fresh, you feel fresh, right? What is the best draft pick position in a 12-man league? It's still kind of early, right? Like if I've drafted dozens of teams so far, mostly best ball, basically all best ball right now, outside of like just mock drafts. The best spot, man, I have like the 6th spot in my home league that I care a lot about, and I've been drafting a lot from there. And I don't mind the 6th spot the way that ADP currently lands when I'm thinking about those first 6 rounds of the draft, right? Late round picks this year feel pretty good as well. I really don't want to get stuck in that pick 7 through 10 range, but I don't mind any of the first 6 picks. Like you're basically guaranteed at that point to get, one of the top running backs, a Bijan. Worst case, you're probably landing with a Jefferson or a CeeDee Lamb, and that feels pretty good. Christian McCaffrey seems to be rising up draft boards right now, as he should be since he looks healthy. Like worst case scenario in the middle of the first round, I'll take CeeDee Lamb. I'll come back around and get an A.J. Brown or a Drake London, right, at that same draft pick. You come back around in the 3rd round, and you could take any elite quarterback you want, or maybe a Chase Brown if you feel good about that, right? So I kind of like that a lot. If you're not already familiar, I put up a pinned comment. It'll take you to my free top 50 overall rankings for those that don't already have it. We're still waiting on this draft lobby to fill. We still need 9 more people. So if you're watching this and you want to come on in here, come on in. We could fill this draft lobby. Otherwise, I'll kind of bounce and I'll go to a lower buy-in that fills a little bit quicker. Greetings from Germany. Pretty crazy, Germany. Would love to join one day. You can join in right now. There's 8 spots still left. Looking forward to it, Sal. Sal doing live drafts. Is this a new thing for the channel? It is a new thing for the channel. We used to do them like 2 years ago. Last year, my schedule was just pretty crazy. I wasn't able to commit to a live streaming schedule. But now that July's here, the season's starting to pick up the off season. Yeah, I think we're good to go here. Alrighty. How many teams are in this? This is going to be a 12 team format, half point PPR. 8 people left to fill this one. I'd say give it another 5 minutes. It'll start to fill pretty quickly, especially as people start to get home. It's 5:30 Eastern time right now. But yeah, you're in the draft. So we got some people in the lobby right now. Yeah, those top 50 overall rankings completely free. They're linked down below at fantasyrankingsfree.com. I believe, I'm still getting used to this whole drafting or live streaming thing. But I'm going to try and test out some commands here. They probably won't work. I probably didn't set it up correctly. Oh, look at that. It worked. Yeah, so if you put exclamation point 50, it'll give you the top 50 overall rankings. Exclamation point blueprint will take you to the blueprint. Exclamation point playbook, it'll take you to all these other free options as well. So you can check it out if you want to. You have any advice for someone drafting in a 16-team PPR? My first ever league I joined in fantasy, for some of you that know my backstory, was a 20-team PPR format, crazy scoring. It was my dad's league. He needed one more person, and he was like, you know what, son, you're a man now. Come on in this league. I don't know, it was 13, 12, 14, somewhere around there. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. The scoring was all over the place. Obviously, you have to nail your first couple of picks. I'd probably lean running back a little bit more there, especially if you have an early round pick, because there's just not going to be a lot of options otherwise. Like, once you're in that third round, if you don't have a running back, you're really going 0 RB at that point. I'd probably lean pretty heavily to hero RB in a 16-team format. And then it comes down to like the skill level of the people in there. Like, do you think you can wait on quarterback? I probably would, unless you think everybody else is going to do that. Then take the falling stud quarterbacks, right? That type of stuff. If you want in San Antonio in the house, howdy Sal, shout out Texas. What's up? Is this a 20 or 30 second draft? This is a 30-second one, but you know what? Let's leave this one and see if the 20-second one has anything quicker here. That's a good point. Let's see if this 21 has anything quicker. All right. Literally nothing quicker. Damn, who knew that these contests just don't want to fill at this point? There we go. All right, so this one's filling a little bit quicker from the first second. So I'll join the 20-second one. You could try that. But my guess is it'll be out pretty quick. Put out a tweet and it will fill instantly. Yeah, I could. I will if it takes a second or two. But for right now, we get a perfect time to answer some questions. This stream, this one's filling way quicker. This stream is basically going to get knocked down the second it's done. Like, these aren't going to stay live. So if you're watching live, perfect. If not, well, what are you going to do? What's the website called for the draft? I'm drafting on Underdog. This is their Best Ball Mania 20-second clock. Coming in from Berlin. That's awesome. Are you doing any Dynasty content this year? So the Dynasty content, the way that I like to do it, and this draft's about to fill, by the way. It's filling really fast, so that's good. 4 people left. I should probably start queuing up some names here. The Dynasty content that I like to do is kind of just hidden into my channel. Like, I'll put out content about draft these rookies and not these, right? And I'll mix in my Dynasty opinions on those rather than creating a totally separate Dynasty channel, which could potentially happen down the line, but it's just not something that I'm really dying to do right now. It's just a lot to manage. That would be probably the proper way to do it, is separate the channels, but you just have to have a lot more bandwidth there. And obviously you start back from 0, which isn't that big of a deal these days, but it's kind of hidden into my content. Like, if you look back at my content from April and May, there's a lot of content out there about like the rookie running backs you need to have. And obviously I'll talk about a season-long perspective, but I'll also talk pretty heavily on a Dynasty perspective as well. We just got a super chat, the first super chat of the day, and the draft has started, gang. I'm waiting to get my spot here, but a $10 super chat. I love what you're doing, brother. Quick question. Terry McLaurin getting traded? I don't think Terry McLaurin's getting traded. We have the 8th pick in this draft. I don't love the 8th pick. I would have loved to have like the 11th or 12th, or ideally the 6th pick. The 8th pick kind of puts you in no man's land. I think picks 7 through 9, 7 through 10 really are kind of tough this year. But Tommy Gunn, I appreciate that $10 super chat. If we hit 50 super chats, which is obviously a pipe dream, I'll open up a 20% coupon for those watching right now for the Blueprint. If you're not familiar, the Blueprint's pricing does increase tomorrow. I'll also answer your question. Don't worry, Tommy, in a second. The Blueprint's pricing does increase tomorrow, by the way, by about 50%, pretty significantly. That pricing at midnight will be going up just due to a lot of demand, and I want to make sure that the personalized part of the Blueprint is accessible for everybody. If you're not familiar with the Blueprint, join theblueprint.com. It's all my drafting tools, in-season tools, Discord access for the entire year. So you can check that out if you're interested. But the pricing does go up 50% tonight. Tommy Gunn, so in terms of Terry McLaurin getting traded, no, this is going to be like I think they're actually going to pay him. Like, he just means too much to this team. I think they'll actually pay him. But it's like every other year with these players who hold out. It doesn't help them. Like, they're not getting those reps. They're maybe a little bit out of shape in terms of like NFL game shape. But yeah, I don't think that I have any concerns with Terry McLaurin right now. I think he'll be fine. He'll hold out. He'll most likely get paid, and if he doesn't, then he'll hold out from training camp, but then he'll start the season like everybody else does. So I'm drafting right now. If you're not familiar, these are my tiers. They're color coded. Whoops, there we go. Everything, of course, flies down. Hey, how you doing? There we go. I'm drafting right now off of my player tiers. They're in the Blueprint. If you have any questions on those, you can just ask me, but I'm just going to put them up on the other screen, so I don't have to worry about this as much. But this is where the clock's going. CeeDee Lamb goes 4th overall. I do like that. I would be taking Jefferson over Lamb, but they're in the same tier. I have Jamar Chase, Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb as of right now in the same tier. You could argue with me that obviously Chase could be put in his own tier. I'd be fine with that. All right, so now we're on the clock here. There's a chance I go Hero RB to start this draft off with McCaffrey and Ashton Jeanty still on the board. There's a pretty good chance we're going to go Hero RB here. We can take Malik Neighbors. Puka's still on the board as well. Don't hate the Puka call. It's really going to come down to who Fantasy Dog takes. So he took McCaffrey. I really wanted McCaffrey there. This is the exact point in the draft that I hate. We're basically forced to pick between Ashton Jeanty for a Hero RB build or Puka Nacua. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to take Puka Nacua. So Puka Nacua is who we'll take. These 20-second draft clocks when you're live streaming are pretty crazy. So we'll take Puka. There was a chance there to go Hero RB. I'm not low on Ashton Jeanty. I'm just not dying to be drafting Ashton Jeanty this year personally. Like compared to some of those other guys up there that we're talking about. So Drake London goes. Yeah, so the chance to do Hero RB still there if you consider the 3rd round picks the Hero RBs, which, I kind of do. Like if you're talking about the Chase Browns of the world, if a Devon Achane or a Josh Jacobs falls to that part of the draft, unlikely, but potentially. Yeah. So we get Ashton Jeanty, we get Drake London, we get Neighbors going. Those are the types of guys you would expect to be going in this range of the draft. Brian Thomas, let's answer some questions too as we go through this. Yeah, these 20-second clocks fucking shoot, yo. Holy shit. Nico finally goes. Holy cow, I can't believe Nico lasted that long. We still have Amon-Ra on the board. We have A.J. Brown, Ladd McConkey. A lot of good options, and then all the running backs come in. You just answer my question. Yeah, of course. Blueprint is amazing, says David. We have a Blueprint member in the chat. Hopefully one of the people that got helped last year, the 10,000 or so people. We're on the clock. At this point in the draft, it's hard not to take a Ladd McConkey at the end of the 2nd round. I'll take Ladd McConkey there, and we start off our draft with 2 very strong wide receivers. We start off our draft with Puka Nacua and Ladd McConkey. They do not have the same bye week, although I don't really care. I care a little bit more in best ball, but not as much as most people. Boy, oh boy, are we flying here. All right, so I feel like I already talk like an auctioneer, and I'm sure you know that based on watching my videos. Rashi Rice went a lot earlier than expected. Sharp leagues or sharp people drafting in July on best ball, though, so makes sense. This is where I'll try and do like a modified Hero RB. I still have 10 more picks. I don't think all these backs will make it back to me, but maybe they do. Maybe this is where people start to load up wrongfully, in my opinion, on wide receivers. I'm not a fan of the Marvin Harrisons or the Jackson Smith-Njigbas or the Tyreeks in this point of the draft. So hopefully that makes a Chase Brown or a Josh Jacobs. I don't think it'll be Jacobs' fall to us, but that'd be cool. Take Bucky too, but they'll be gone. Disc golf is fun as heck. I do like disc golf. I'm a fan of disc golf. I haven't disc golfed in a few months just due to some injuries and getting back into running and just like being in Texas. The temperature is god awful, although it's not been terrible as of late. I've just been traveling. There goes Bucky. There goes McBride. So we're 6 picks away. We have 2 loaded wide receivers if you're just joining us. We have Puka Nacua and Ladd McConkey, who I feel really good about. We're drafting from the 8th pick, by the way. Like, I hate that draft spot. So, like, literally, if we're 1 pick earlier, we land Christian McCaffrey, we run the Hero RB, and we're not taking a running back till, like, round 7 or later. Unfortunately, we have to pivot the whole draft plan, but that's fine. 5 picks away, I don't think we're going to get, or 4 picks away, any of these running backs that we really want to fall to us. Maybe a Chase Brown falls. He does not. He goes right there. All right. It's not awful where we're at right now, but boy, oh boy, this draft slot is not ideal. Ryan, I love disc golf too. We're getting some people bonding in the chat here. Won 2 championships because of the Blueprint last year alone, says Robbie. Shout out you. We're on the clock right now. At this point in the draft, I have a video coming out soon about this exact spot. Breece Hall versus Kyren Williams is an interesting spot here. I'm not really a fan of either of these guys, but I want to just secure a running back here so I don't have to touch one for a while. And the video is actually going to explain between Breece Hall, and I kind of gave it away by taking Breece Hall, by taking Breece Hall, between Breece Hall and Kyren Williams, which one I want and why. The reports, at least over these last 2 weeks, are looking a little bit better for Breece Hall, adding some context into some of the moves that they made last year, into the coaching staff and how they were kind of seeing the backfield and how that's now changed in the new OC and how he's viewing it. So just based on this draft structure, like if we land McCaffrey in round 1, we're not taking Breece Hall there. But now we're 4 picks away. Who would you just say is the best pick at 7, assuming 1 through 6 are chalk? Probably Christian McCaffrey, kind of the way that this draft board went. The top 7 picks went, maybe not in the order you would expect, but they went basically, for the most part, similar to how I would expect. DJ Moore is still on the board. I like DJ Moore more than most people, I believe, this year. Courtland Sutton's still on the board here. I'm not against the Courtland Sutton pick. We're probably about 6 picks too early for that, but I don't hate it. George Kittle's still on the board here. That's probably where my eyes tend to go as we're on the clock next year. If we can secure that. Yeah, so let's secure George Kittle. Arguably, I mean, the tight end one last year. I view him kind of similar to that this year. So right now we have Breece Hall, Puka Nacua, Ladd McConkey, and George Kittle. Don't hate that for the draft spot that we're coming through right now. We're back on the clock in 13 picks, so yeah. This is best ball? Yeah, this is best ball. It's not redraft. I mean, at this point, redraft would just be mock drafts where people leave after 2 or 3 rounds, or you can do it against the computer, which isn't awful, but this is people putting $25 up each, so they're going to stay through the end and actually care. Sal, why not talk about auction drafts? I have auction rankings and values in the blueprint. It's just not something that I personally care deeply about. Neither does the far majority of fantasy players. So putting out content specifically around that, in terms of it takes 6 hours for me to come up with an idea, script it, get the video ready, edit it, and then thumbnail, put all that stuff out. It takes 6 to 8 hours per video. I have some people helping me, of course, with editing, graphic design. But that's a lot of time to then put out an auction video that gets 5% of the interest that any other video for season long will get, just for standard scoring or half PPR is basically standard. Yeah. All right, so my queue is empty. It's time to start filling back up this queue. Not with Zay Flowers. Not against elite quarterback here, but I think I'm going to wait on quarterback. Obviously, we're going to try and do some stacking options with some of the quarterbacks that I have. Herbert or the wide receivers that I have, Herbert and Matt Stafford don't scream guys that I love to take right now. 7, 8, 9, and 10 are kind of trash draft picks. I believe that right now as well. Damn, I think we might just have to wait next time for the 30-second clock. Those extra 10 seconds really help you. I mean, this draft's going to go super quick. We could probably do another one after this, but yeah, they really help you. Okay. Chris Olave, I'm going to be targeting. I'm becoming way, way, way more interested in Chris Olave by the day right now. The more that he just falls into the 6th and 7th rounds of fantasy drafts. I don't know if he'll do that in this league or this specific draft here. But I wouldn't doubt it. Chuba Hubbard goes off the board. There goes another elite quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Fourth quarterback off the board. That's kind of standard in chalk right now, but getting Jalen Hurts in round 5 feels good. Just joined. Who did you take? We had the worst draft pick, in my opinion. We're 3 picks away. We had the 8th pick, probably the worst. Maybe the 9th is worse. We took Puka Nacua, Ladd McConkey, and then we got Breece Hall and George Kittle. Now we're coming back around here with our round 5 pick. There's still a Kenneth Walker on the board. Don't hate that. Don't hate that at all, actually. Now that Calvin Ridley just went and Waddle went. Damn, Sal, good to see you. Good to see you as well. What is hero RB? It just means you take one RB up top, usually in the 1st or 2nd round, sometimes the 3rd if a guy who's good enough, like a Chase Brown, if you view him that well, falls. We're on the clock right now, so let's just make our pick here. In round 5 at this point, I'm going to try and wait for Olave in round 6. So I'll take Kenneth Walker. Based on my rankings right now, Kenneth Walker is by far best available. So we'll take Kenneth Walker. So we have Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker there. Different bye weeks. Again, doesn't really matter as much, but best ball a little bit more. You doing a live draft is pretty fire. Get Matt Harmon to do some too. Yeah, Matt Harmon's a great guy. Worked together the last 2 years. I did some collab content with Yahoo. Yeah, great guy. Do we like the 1-2 turn of Henry, CMC, BTJ, Brian Thomas, and AJ Brown? Who else do you like there? Oh, the 1-2 turn I love. If he falls, Nico Collins. But yeah, I mean, definitely like the names that you said. If CMC's at the end of the 1st round, it seems like he's not going to be there the more and more that drafts are done right now. But yeah, let's get this view. This view might be a little bit better for y'all watching. All right, Henderson goes at the 6th one. That's interesting. I'm going to be taking Chris Olave here if he can fall to us. That'd be lovely. We're 2 picks away. The guys in front of us each have 3 wide receivers, so we're hoping that he does fall to us. Again, Chris Olave doesn't open us up many great quarterback options with the guys that we're taking, but I don't really care too much on this 22nd draft. We don't have too much time to kind of pivot in drafts compared to a normal 1 to 1.5 minute clock. We're taking Chris Olave. I'm warming up a lot more to Chris Olave. There'll be a video coming out in about a week or so on Chris Olave and my interest and why it's increased on him throughout the offseason. Just positive trends for him and his health. Obviously, no new competition. He has the exact same competition as last year. The quarterback situation will, of course, be the issue, but when you're getting drafted later on, then expectation, that's kind of already baked into your price, some of those risks. Alrighty. Mika Ibuka looks good later on. We'll be queuing up some guys here to always have the queue. We have George Kittle, so I'm pretty good on tight end until the late rounds. Quarterback, not really the spot I want to be targeting quarterback right now. We're 9 picks away. 7 and 8 is my favorite spot. I mean, I think if you could land a McCaffrey there, if you're trying a hero RB, then it's a lot better of a spot, especially depending on how that second round shapes up. Like if that second round, you still have an A.J. Brown, probably not a Drake London, but like an A.J. Brown and a Ladd McConkey there, maybe a T. Higgins. Like, yeah, it starts to shape up really well. Coming in late here, how do I get the blueprint? You just type jointheblueprint.com, or you can just click this link. I believe this should work. But jointheblueprint.com, it'll walk you through how to get it. The pricing goes up at midnight tonight by 50%. So if you're going to get it at any point this offseason, right now is the time to do it. Do you like DK Metcalf this year? I thought he was decent maybe like 2 months ago when the Pickens trade happened, but like he's just getting drafted where he should. I don't dislike him. I don't love him. He's just kind of getting drafted where he should right now. And when there's other guys around him as values, they just stand out more when I'm in that part of the drafts. Do you play Dynasty Fantasy Football? Yes, indeed, I do. I do play Dynasty. Not nearly as much as I do season long, but yes. Gibbs is solid for sure, of course. Of course he is. I think Caleb Williams will be a good fantasy quarterback. I mean, out of all the moves this offseason, who's going to get the ball? Which tight end's going to be involved? Which running back's going to be involved? Ben Johnson's there, improved offense, a lot of improved players. Why not just take the quarterback and not have to worry about the rest of it? Of course, it's not that simple. As somebody just took DeAndre Swift, and I think that that's fine to be doing in the 7th round at this point in the summer based on the info that we currently have. Alrighty. I'm looking at 2 wide receivers right now. One of them just went, so now I'm looking at like 1 wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka. I don't hate Stephon Diggs here either. That also opens up a Drake May potential stack. Stephon Diggs looks like he's fully healthy. We're 1 pick away. If Diggs goes, we're going to be in some deep shit, if you know what I'm saying. Because this board starts to get really thin in these exact rounds. We already have our 2. Stephon Diggs does not go. Let's take Stephon Diggs. As much as I hate taking these 30-plus-year-old receivers coming off of serious injuries, he appears to already be fully healthy, and it's the beginning of July, which means he has 2 more months to get even healthier. And the competition on this team is basically zero, right? Like, we can pull up some of the stuff here on New England. You already know the competition. I want to make sure I don't miss my pick because we're 7 picks away. But, like, Kyle Williams is a 3rd-round rookie. I like him, but he's an unproven rookie. Demario Douglas, we know what his role is. And then after that, you're just looking at a bunch of dudes. Like, Matt Collins probably gets on the field a lot, but are we really worried about Matt Collins taking away significant target shares? Not really. Not really, right? Starting to like the way that this team is shaping up at the wide receiver position. Puka, Ladd, Chris Olave, Diggs, running backs, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker. And then we have George Kittle at tight end. No quarterback right now. I will be targeting Drake May thanks to that Steph Diggs move, but we're going to have to target him pretty soon as we're already in round 8 is my guess. Like, he's going to be coming off the board in, I don't know, like 2 rounds or so. Yeah, 3 rounds maybe. 3 picks away again. Pretty set on tight end, pretty set on running back. I'll take a running back if that's our best available. At this point in the draft, I don't hate Brandon Ayuk. So if he falls to us here, he's already falling past ADP a couple of picks. I don't hate, again, another injured guy, right, who might miss the first 4 weeks. But Michael Pittman's also there. Jaden Higgins, I think, is way too early to be taking Jaden Higgins. It's pretty crazy that he's going this early in these best ball drafts. Yeah, I think it comes down. We're up next. All right, let's let the chat decide. I don't know how delayed we are right here. They just took Jordan Mason. I was looking at him. What do you guys want, Brandon Ayuk or Michael Pittman? We have literally 10 seconds. So Brandon Ayuk or Michael Pittman, the first one that I see, I'll take here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bingo. We're taking Michael Pittman. The only reason I don't take Ayuk, I would take Ayuk in most situations there. Like we already had the Kittle piece, right? So you could make that backdoor stack. The only reason I'm not taking Ayuk is because for this specific build, we just took Stephon Diggs, which is already kind of a risk when you're talking about aging veteran off injury. Ayuk's not as aging, but veteran off injury. So we'll take Pittman there. From like a stacking standpoint, Ayuk probably made more sense. He's still on the board, but 11 picks away. That guy's not lasting. He's the next best on the clock. Cool. All right, we're approaching like round 9 now. So this is where Drake May starts to come into play if we want to make sure we get him. Thoughts on Genty? Is he getting picked too high? He's probably getting picked a smidge too high. Like, I'm not taking him ahead of McCaffrey or the Nico Collinses of the world or those dudes. But other than that, he's fine. How many leagues are you doing this year? In terms of best ball, it'll be well over 100, like when you factor in best ball. When you factor in just like serious redraft leagues, my main home league, another family league, 2 other family leagues on different sides of the family, and then like the Flock Fantasy League. So like 4 or 5 leagues that I'm like seriously cared about for season long. The years when I used to do 15 plus, it was just way too much. Like it was way too much. Sal, you back in Staten or in North Carolina? I'm not in Staten Island or North Carolina. I've not been in Staten Island since I was like 12. I haven't been in North Carolina for 4 years. Brandon Ayuk at pick 98 is a smash pick right there for Brady. Smash pick. I do kind of regret a little bit not taking Ayuk there and setting up that stack, but I mean, if you're playing best ball, if everything works out and Ayuk is healthy for week 1 or really just healthy for week 5 and on, that's a pretty good stack to be having. So that is a regret, but we live and we learn, because then you just come right back around and you hope Brock Purdy lands to you, which it looks like he probably will. This next pick is going to be best available, and then we're just going to be taking Drake May. So best available, not a lot of best available options right now, like Travis Kelce or Travis Etienne at the end of the ninth doesn't feel awful. It doesn't feel awful, although I don't love the pick. We're at 5 wide receivers at this point. Don't hate it. How old are you? I'm 29 years old as of 2 days ago, or as of 2 days ago. What do we want here? I'll take Brock Purdy. I'll do a little bit of a strategy here, and I'll hit the old double quarterback in rounds 9 through 10. The later you take your quarterback 1, the earlier you take your quarterback 2. So I just want to mess around with this draft in terms of how we can put this together. So we have the Purdy Kittle stack. We can't really backdoor that. I mean, we could with a Ricky Pearsall. He's probably off the board by now. Jennings is gone. Ayuk would have been perfect here now that we say it. So that's something to learn on there for best ball. But Drake May going back to back, I think is interesting. Happy late birthday. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, 29 as of Monday. It was a great weekend. Sal, can you rank these RBs for half point PPR? Genty, Henry, CMC, Achane, Bucky, Jacobs. Yeah, I can rank them. They're in my rankings. They're in my positional rankings right here in the fantasy blueprint. So I can. Let me just do this next pick here, as we pray that Drake May does not get taken. But yeah, I can rank them. We're 2 picks away, but here you go. Here's the blueprint rankings. We'll zoom in on this one. That's exactly how I rank them right there. That's exactly how I rank them right there on the screen. That's a part of tier, obviously tier 1 through 3 or whatever it is of the blueprint. We're on the draft board next here. So we'll take Drake May. We'll get our 2 quarterbacks out of the way. Odds are we're not taking a 3rd quarterback at that point. Not out of the question for best ball. But we'll get our Brock Purdy. Yeah, I love these picks here. So we kind of handle the stacks to some extent. Those dudes both have a week 14 bye in Brock Purdy and Drake May. So that's like your one concern, which is why I'm going to be taking like a round 18 quarterback. But we get Drake May with Stephon Diggs. There's a chance to get to Hunter Henry if we really want that like stack. We have Brock Purdy with George Kittle. I am kicking myself now a ton for taking Michael Pittman over Ayuk. I didn't think Purdy would come back around, but he easily did. We're pretty good on quarterback now to the last rounds. We have Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker. I should probably beef up this running back room somewhat. There's a Najee Harris still on the board. There's a Ray Davis. There's a Tajay Spears, guys that I really like. So, biggest mistake right now is taking Michael Pittman over Ayuk with that one. What day 3 pick has the best chance to break out? Day 3 pick with the best chance to break out. I mean, immediately wide receiver comes to mind, right? You're talking about Kyle Williams jumping in as the number 2 option on his team. You're talking about, Trey. Actually, day 3, you're saying Kyle Williams was a day 2 pick. That's a good question. I would have to think about that. Tajay Spears goes. I'm going to look at Ray Davis here. We have Javonte still on the board, but is Javonte somebody I really want to be betting on at this point and paying a 11th round pick for? Don't hate it. Don't love it, though. Javonte goes, so it makes a decision for us. Yeah, if Ray Davis makes it to us in 7 picks, we'll go there. Let's queue up some other options while we sit here. And Eckler, Tyler Algier. Don't hate any of these options. Cool. Yeah, we got to attack this RB board. We're good on tight end and quarterback for now. Cool. Super chat, $2. Hey, Sal, could you help me with my queue in the chat? I can. I'm 4 picks away. Let me read it. Would you give up the 2025 104 and McLaurin for Amon-Ra? I want Hampton at 104. Yeah, I would take... my RBs are rough. I have AMAJ, so you want the 104 and McLaurin for Amon-Ra. So you would be getting McLaurin and Hampton for Amon-Ra? Yeah, I would do that. Yeah, I would do that if you're saying your RBs are rough, especially as well. Yeah, especially. There's that word that the people can't stand. Especially. Trey Harris was a day 2 pick. He was a 2nd round pick, not a day 3 pick. Yeah. I mean, day 3 pick Cam Scatterbo, right? 4th round pick. So that's probably the one that stands out the most, top of the 4th round pick. Draft capital, how that depth chart looks out, at least comes to mind, I would say. I've been watching best ball drafts, but I get confused when they take certain players over others. I know it's best ball draft strategy, the same as redraft strategies. It's not the same. No, and we're on the board right now, so I'm going to go ahead and take Ray Davis. It's not the same as redraft. No. There's just so much difference, right? Best ball scoring is different. You're taking the highest scores from each week, so you're leaning towards guys who can have these spike weeks, even if some dud weeks come with those, because you're just taking the highest scores on the week. And in best ball tournaments, oftentimes, almost all the time, if you're playing for the big money, you're competing with hundreds of thousands of other people. So you have to keep that in mind when you're drafting. Whereas in your season-long leagues, you're competing with 11 of your friends, 9 of your friends, right? Maybe if you're in a big league, 15 of your friends. You don't have to take as many risks, which is why correlation from stacking matters, because if you hit on one offense, say you stack up a Brock Purdy, and Ayuk, and a George Kittle, if the 49ers offense exceeds expectations and is the top or top 5 offense in the league, you just got 3 things right with those 3 players by just getting one thing right, and that's the 49ers offense succeeding. Now, that's just like a small piece of the strategy, of course, right? There's a lot more that goes into it. There's a lot more trends you could look at. Of course, we've only had a couple of years of these big tournaments on best ball, so like people shift their strategy so much every year, but they're looking at 1-year samples where last year all the running backs stayed healthy, and that's obviously not going to happen every year, and it doesn't. So like some of the data is a little bit skewed on that stuff, but some of it is helpful. We're up next again here, and I think we're in a really good spot if Kyle Williams falls 1 pick to us to just beef up our stack a little bit more with Drake May, Stephon Diggs, and Kyle Williams here, who has fallen past ADP. Oh, I love this. Oh, we missed out on Ayuk, but I love this. We get the Drake May plus Steph Diggs plus Kyle Williams stack there. Kyle Williams about 10 picks, 15 picks past ADP, 12 picks past ADP. So I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to go back to running back here. We have Isaac Correndo still on the board. A lot of good options. I mean, Trey Benson, Rachaad White, these guys are going to have roles. Tyler Algier is like one of the most underrated players every single year. If something happens to Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier is getting 15 to 16 touches a game in all situations as well, especially the red zone. What is the salary of your rankings based on? Salary rankings? Are you talking about for auction drafts? I'll have to look. I want to say 200, but I would have to look. I want to say 200. Thoughts on Amarian Hampton? I think he's going to rip it up. Yeah, I think it's like a late 4th round pick in fantasy, early 5th if you're in your season-long leagues and he falls. I don't see the risk really in him at all. What do you think about GOAT Tyler Lockett with Cam Ward? I think Tyler Lockett could be like one of these sneaky Adam Thielen seasons where nobody's talking about him and he has a nice year. Last year I bought your blueprint for $10. Is that still a thing? No. Last year there was a one-off option, a one-time option to sign up through a partner to get the blueprint. That is no longer available, so the standard pricing of the blueprint via Patreon is the only option this year. The partner option is not allowed anymore due to legislation. And you can check it out if you want at jointheblueprint.com. The pricing for the blueprint does go up by 50%. 50% it increases at midnight tonight due to demand. So if you're going to get into the blueprint at any point this year, you can save 50% because after today, it's 50% higher for the rest of the year. And we'll probably do another price hike in August just because I have to keep the blueprint. There's a certain amount of it that I answer questions, and I'm available in Discord. And if too many people, which there already way more are joining this year than last year because the people who had success last year are staying and now more people are coming in, it gets to a point where like if I'm getting, hundreds of questions a day, potentially, I can't answer those. So there's a level of it where part of the price increase is so that I can hire support for other things, so I'm more available. And then also when you increase price, it will limit people coming in just naturally. So that's kind of just the reasoning, if you will. Alrighty, who do we want here as we're 2 picks away? I'm looking at Tyler Algier. I don't hate Tyler Algier at this point in the draft. Compared to these wide receivers, God, oh God. I mean, we have Tyler Algier and Austin Eckler on the board. Oh, let me pull this back up. What's the price? You can check out the price on jointheblueprint.com. It really depends on what tier you want. If you want monthly or annual, the annual is 50% off when you do that. That's probably the best option. Oh, Tyler Algier goes, but that's fine. I'm completely okay taking Austin Eckler. In round 13, yeah. Austin Eckler's a 12th round pick in fantasy drafts right now, sometimes in 11th. Round 13 for Austin Eckler, yeah, okay. Give me that all day. You're talking about a guy who last year was extremely productive, and Jaden Daniels was not scared to check it down to him for being a mobile quarterback. Yeah, give me Austin Eckler all day there. Romeo Doubs at this point in the draft, he's not exciting, but he surely is somebody who will probably go out there and catch 5+ touchdowns, assuming he stays healthy, even with Matthew Golden there. So we'll queue up Romeo Doubs. got to start to think about some other tight end options. Jalen Wright's still there. I don't mind him. Hunter Henry, if we want the mega stack, is still there. Depends how late he would fall. Cam Ward, I'm just going to put him in there. I don't plan to take Cam Ward, but we need to start to think about another quarterback soon. Man, this draft really starts to thin out when we're in these 14th rounds. I need another quarterback. I need at least another tight end. So this is where we're going to start to target those guys. Kyle Pitts still on the board. Nobody wants the poor guy. What are you going to do? We'll go get another tight end. Darren Waller, we can be crazy and queue him up. Are your blueprint rankings different depending on the league? Looking to get into the blueprint based on half PPR? Yep, they're in half PPR. So what I found out 2 years ago is there's about a 98 to 99% crossover between standard, non-PPR, and half PPR. And then between half PPR and PPR, there's about a 98% crossover. So instead of having 3 different ranking systems for virtually just like 3 places in the overall rankings of 300 people being different, it just doesn't make sense. So we're on the board right now. We're going with another late round running back. We're going with Jalen Wright. We now have rounds 15, 16, 17, and 18, 4 rounds left to target a tight end, a quarterback. So we're filling up the back of our draft pretty nicely. I'm really high on Ray Davis, Austin Eckler, and Jalen Wright. Think they all have their own standalone roles in their offense. And of course, much more significant roles if something happens to their starter. Wide receiver, we probably need one more here to feel good. I probably should have already gotten this final wide receiver earlier because at this point it's just dog shit. But what are you going to do? That guy should have been Brandon Ayuk, but what are you going to do? So we need a quarterback, a receiver, and at least 1, potentially 2 tight ends. I'm pretty good on running back at this point. I don't hate taking Darius Slayton really late in drafts or Diami Brown, although I don't think he's going to be all that important. So I'm going to queue up Darius Slayton as somebody I like taking later. He has so much guaranteed money on his contract. Should have a pretty nice setup with Jameis and or Russell Wilson. Also think Jackson's Dart's not terrible. Happy I got the blueprint when it first dropped. Yeah, when the blueprint first dropped, it was even cheaper than it is today. And obviously it's going to go up after today at midnight. Is Sal an Eagles fan? I am not an Eagles fan, but my whole girlfriend's family is diehard Eagles fans. They're from Philadelphia. So when the Eagles are on, assuming I'm a Packers fan, assuming they're not playing the Packers, I'll root for the Eagles just because why not see the other side of the family happy? Are you running another draft after this? Yeah, I mean, it depends timing wise. I was going to stay on for an hour, but this one's only going to take 30 minutes. So why not run another draft if you guys want? I have an hour baked in and then we got to go to a game night. Once a week, we do it with the friends. Lovely way to stay connected. Do you have any plans on doing some auction values or advice? I have auction values and rankings in the blueprint. In terms of in drafts, no. On live streams, we could obviously cover them as the year goes on. Pat Bryant all day. Somebody wants Pat Bryant here. I don't hate Pat Bryant. Thornton is listed as a starter. Yeah, I don't believe those. Tyquan Thornton as a starter. I don't believe those right now in training camp. He's really shown nothing so far to do that. Darius Slayton and Pat Bryant are on the board. It's way too early to take Darius Slayton. He'll still be here in a while. So we're on the board right now. Do we want a Pat Bryant? Heck, yeah, it's round 15. Why not take Pat Bryant? For those of you that are not as tuned in and chronically online in the football season, Pat Bryant was drafted earlier than people expected by the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton loves him, comparing him to Michael Thomas and sometimes Marcus Colston. And they do need that number 2 option in the wide receiver room. They get Evan Ingram, who's kind of that. But they put the draft capital into him. Marvin Mims plays a specific role. Devon Vele is already a little bit banged up. Was good for what he was in terms of the draft pick last year that they spent on him with the capital. But he's not like a guy who's that dude for them moving forward, I don't think. Any changes in intuition on this draft that is not in line with the blueprint? Well, the blueprint is built mostly, like there are best ball tools in there, but mostly the blueprint is season long. But for the best ball tools, no. I mean, at some point, like in best ball drafts, you kind of have to pivot away from like standard strategy because of how you're drafting. Like, what are your stacks looking like, right? And then you're kind of forced to take some players you might not like just to complete some stacks. Luckily, we didn't have to do that in this one. I like Steph Diggs. I like Drake May a lot. I like Brock Purdy. I love George Kittle. So we kind of got the guys that we really wanted. At this point, though, with 3 rounds left, we need another quarterback due to the bye weeks, a tight end, and then we can fill out that last position. So, yeah, tight ends at this point in the draft are pretty ass, especially because we can't take around 14 tight end. I'll probably go ahead and honestly just take Darren Waller. I'll say screw it and just take Darren Waller and see what he does. I don't hate Theo Johnson either at this point in the drafts. All right, we're on the clock right now. Let's get saucy. We'll take Darren Waller. And we'll see what happens. Round 16, we already have George Kittle. I'm fine with that. What's going on? How are you? Mason Taylor, yes. I don't want Mason Taylor there. Like, I feel pretty stable that, I mean, if George Kittle gets hurt as our 4th round pick, we're not winning this anyway, so we're hoping that he just stays healthy enough. And if Darren Waller has anything left, we're pretty solid there. So our final 2 picks are going to be a quarterback who doesn't have a week 14 bye. At this point in drafts, I mean, there's not much left. We did take Michael Pittman, so it does pay off to probably take, and I'm probably going to go either Daniel Jones or Richardson, whichever one makes it, leaning on Daniel Jones since he looks like the starter right now. And then from there, we could go 3 tight end. For best ball, probably makes sense to go 3 tight end, but I'm also not against Darius Slayton just went. I was going to say I'm not against taking Darius Slayton. We could do a wild backdoor stack, have Michael Pittman, get an Adonai Mitchell and one of these quarterbacks too. Crazy backdoor stack if we wanted to. Who's the better sleeper, Michael Penix or Bryce Young? I'll take Michael Penix. Flock Mason live doing drafts too. You guys should collab. Yeah, I mean, me and Mason live 2 miles away from each other. I was just with him on Saturday for my birthday on a bunch of friends. We rented a boat. Yeah. We'll do a collab at some point, I'm sure. I mean, Mason drafts every fucking day. That's psycho. Cool. What is your favorite draft strategy? I mean, in a 20-second best ball draft, those kind of go out the window, but I love spying on people. Like, when you have those like minute and a half or minute clocks in your season long, you know they always get drained and soaked up. I love spying on people. Give me spying on people all day. All the quarterbacks just went, by the way. Pour one out. All the Colts quarterbacks just went. So who do you guys want? Sam Darnold, Jackson Dart. Who do you guys want? Tyler Shuck, actually, we could do because we have Chris Olave. So that could be interesting. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do Tyler Shuck. Let's get crazy. We'll go Tyler Shuck here. Our quarterbacks are set. Brock Purdy and Drake May, who I love. Tyler Shuck just because he doesn't have a week 14 bye. And we took Olave, so there's some stacking to that. Other than that, we have 7 wide receivers. I feel good about the 5 running backs. 2 tight ends. We could add a 3rd tight end if we really want to, but I'm just going to go best available here. So you guys, let's let chat pick. Who do you guys want for round 18? Chat picks who they want for round 18. Any position other than quarterback. You guys pick. I'll just scroll through here. We can go Jatavion Sanders. He has the same bye as Kittle. So you guys pick here. Who do you want? Anybody but quarterback. Throw out your wildest guys. Russell Wilson. You guys want 4 quarterbacks? No, we don't want 4 quarterbacks. We already got 3. Shuck is a great value. I think so too. I think Shuck and Jackson's Dart are going underrated in these bigger formats. Sal, are you looking for a graphic designer and video editor? I have video editors. I have graphic design pretty set up as well. All right, who do you guys want here? Shador Sanders? No. I don't hate Dylan Sampson. We're on the clock. Marshawn Lloyd is a good option. You're not wrong. The Packers' probable, most likely backup running back. Yeah, I don't hate Marshawn Lloyd here. We kind of already have the running backs we need. We'll go Marshawn Lloyd. We'll end it with Marshawn Lloyd. I was going to say, like, is there another wide receiver that we want to look at? Elijah Moore could get interesting when training camp comes because he had a really good mini camp and OTAs. And obviously the Bills outside of Khalil Shakur, they're going to give Keon Coleman reps, but like they don't have built-in dudes. All right. Let's answer some of your questions and let's look at this team. The Brandon Ayuk thing is going to stick with me. We got Brock Purdy and Drake May. I like those options. We drafted from the 8 spot. We should probably do another draft just so we don't have to worry about the 8 spot. But Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker, I'm fine with these running backs, especially the way that we ended with Marshawn Lloyd, Jalen, Ray Davis, and Eckler. Starting the draft with Puka and Ladd McConkey felt fine. I really wish McCaffrey would have fell to us at pick 7, but that's okay. Chris Olave, Stephon Diggs coming back with is awesome. The biggest mistake of the draft that we made was taking Michael Pittman over Brandon Ayuk when we could have had a much bigger stack with San Francisco since we took Kittle in the 4th. The other biggest mistake is probably not taking a 3rd tight end here since Darren Waller is literally coming off of a retirement. But that's fine. That's fine. Trying to talk while doing a 20-second clock is crazy. I don't know if Mason's doing 20-second or 30-second clocks, but 20 seconds is crazy. Crazy sauce, yo. All right, you guys want to do another one? We can do another one. Yeah. Let's do another one here. Let me pull up my best ball rankings, actually. Lloyd could be the RB1. Yeah, I mean, if something happens to Josh Jacobs, which isn't too crazy given the workload that he saw last year. It's not too crazy. Do another one. You guys say do another one? Yeah. Are you drafting a sit and go or a tournament? It's a tournament. It's a best ball mania underdog. You draft it and forget it. It's a best ball. Mason always does 20s while on the clock. Pretty wild. Yeah, that guy's crazy. That guy's crazy. He must have like at least once per day a misfire pick. All right. I'm in the middle of an 8-hour best ball. Okay, cool. This draft's over. Let's hop out of this one. Shall we do another little drafter here? Let's do it. If you guys want to hop into 30-second pick draft, we can do that. You know what? Is this your full-time job, Sal? Yeah, it's been my full-time job for 7 years now. My last year of college, I started doing this. And little by little, you learn the tricks of the trade of running a business, sales, obviously content on all platforms, funnels, all that shit. Let's stick with 20 seconds just because that took like 30 minutes and I only have 30 minutes until I got to go to this game night. I understand that, Sal, but it's a tournament game stack in week 17 is pertinent. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. I already have like 50 of these Best Ball Mania drafts drafted where I don't have to worry about looking at chat and talking through it all. So the week 17 stuff in the other 49 can be hit on. I'm fine with that. I need Kenneth Walker in all my drafts this year. Shout out. All right, this draft's filling very, very fast, so we're only a couple seconds away. Sleeping on Ollie Gordon? I don't think so. A lot has to happen for Ollie Gordon, just specifically like with his own skill set on that team in training camp, not even factoring in, Achan's there and Jalen Wright's there. Let's get them Dolaruskis. Just came in to say that much. Appreciate it. 3 people left, and then this draft will fill. Yeah, so any questions you have, you can get them in. Would you take Allen in the 3rd to 4th or wait to take Bo Nix and other quarterbacks? It depends on the draft room that you're in, like who you're playing with. I don't mind Josh Allen at all. Definitely in the 4th round, I'll take him. I don't mind Josh Allen at all this year. Taking him that early is completely fine with me. Where would you put Old Man Kupp this year? Yeah, he's not really on my radar right now. I have Cooper Kupp ranked as my... I'll pull it up right now for you. I'm pretty low on Cooper Kupp. Yeah, I'm pretty low on Cooper Kupp. He's ranked as my... Let's pull up the tiers. This draft is starting anything but the 8th pick, please. Cooper Kupp in my tiers is my wide receiver 52. I'm below market. Yes, we got the number 2 overall pick. Who do you guys want at number 2 overall? Who do you guys want at number 2 overall, assuming Jamar Chase goes number 1? Otherwise, we're taking Chase. Do you want the Bijans? Who do you want? We got a couple minutes to decide here. What do we got? 45 seconds. I'm going to go Hero RB if Jamar Chase goes. I'm probably going to go Bijan. I have a decent amount of Saquon up at this point, so I want to get a little bit different there. Most people, when you have second pick, Saquon will probably go in those first 2 if a running back goes. So we can take Bijan to try and get somewhat unique. Bijan, Barkley, Jefferson, we're all over the board. Yeah. Just from like a game theory standpoint, I'll probably take Bijan because at the second pick, he goes significantly less than a Jefferson or a Saquon. So I'll probably just go Bijan there, assuming he doesn't go first overall, which would be, just crazy sauce. Anybody in this live stream in the draft, let me know. Bijan. Somebody says, take Jeff. Take Jeff. Who Jeff? Wow, Bijan went 1 overall. Somebody in this draft, somebody in this lobby is in here right now. So Bijan goes 1 overall. Jamar Chase or Saquon, who do we want? You know what? Let's do a 0 RB build. Let's go Saquon. Or not a 0 RB, sorry, a Hero RB build. I'm going to go Saquon just because I want Hero RB. I don't want to touch running back again until like round 7. That's probably a crazy draft board for the rest of the people in here, just seeing Bijan and Saquon go off the board first. Probably crazy draft board. Sal, do you believe in the Madden curse? No, of course not. The Madden curse usually, if you think about the Madden curse, the players on the Madden curse are usually going on the Madden cover because they had a career year. So when you have a career year, odds are you're going to drop the next year, right? So like the Madden curse is just, it's just like not real. It's players coming off of their career year. So odds are they're not going to have another career year. Chase, he got the triple crown. Yeah, Jamar Chase is my number 1 overall ranked player, but for the purposes of this draft, I want to run it with a Hero RB approach. So I'm just going to put Saquon up here. If that was like my season-long league, yeah, of course, I'm taking Jamar Chase there. He's my number 1 overall player. But just from a best ball standpoint, I want to run this with a 0 RB build and see where we can get. The first 6 picks are just such chalk. Interesting to see McCaffrey falling in this one to pick 9. That would have been great if that happened last draft. Mahomes broke the curse technically. Yeah, I think it got broke for a couple of years in a row. Where can I get the blueprint? Yeah, you just go to join, or 12 picks away. Just jointheblueprint.com, or you can just put in the chat !blueprint, and a little robot, the Nightbot, will send you that. But you can check it out today at the end of the day. So at midnight tonight, if you're on the newsletter and you get my emails, you've been getting notifications of this already. But at midnight tonight, the blueprint increases by 50% just due to demand at this point. We have way more people based on the amount of people sticking from last year, over 80% recurring. So people who joined last year, over 80% are already signed back up, which usually means that I think that's a pretty good indication that like the service and the value is there. If 80% of people are sticking through, I would say that's rather high. And then obviously more people who are just finding me or more interested this year are joining in. All right, so we got our hero RB. Let's now schmack around. If you're just joining, we took Saquon, number 2 overall pick. We're going to go hero RB, and we're going to schmack around with a bunch of wide receivers in these next few rounds. Maybe get an elite quarterback, maybe get an elite tight end if they're there. But let's look up these wide receivers. And I love all the wide receivers on the board right now. I mean, why not? Why not take an A.J. Brown or a T. Higgins, right? Why not? Why not get spicy with it? We don't need a touch running back right now, no matter how tempting that they look. We're 3 picks away, and I would love for a Rashee Rice or a T. Higgins to fall to us at this point in the draft. Rashee Rice will not be a 2nd-round pick in your home leagues. He'll probably be a 3rd-round pick, and that'd be fine. Oh, boy. Rashee's going to go off the board here. I already know it. I already know we're going to lose Rashee Rice here. I already know it. Madden curse was injuries sometimes. Saquon was stopped at the 1-yard line like 8 times. Pretty crazy when you think about that. His quarterback had more yards than him. Ugh, Rashee Rice goes. So now we're literally in that dead part of the draft where it's Tyreek, Marvin Harrison, Garrett Wilson. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think we got to take Trey McBride. I think we got to pivot to elite tight end. Saquon Barkley and Trey McBride to start the draft is how we're going here. Saquon Barkley. This would make a lot more sense for me to be doing it this way instead, wouldn't it? This would make a lot more sense for me to be doing the draft this way. All right, so now we have elite tight end, hero running back. We got to just load up on any wide receivers, whether we like the range or not after this, whether we like the range or not. I love DK this season. Somebody said Peyton Hillis. Yeah, I mean, Peyton Hillis had his career year, and I think anybody could tell that he wasn't going to be doing anything the following year. All right. We have our pick of the litter. We have Devontae Adams if we want him here. We have Tyreek Hill, who I'm not high on, but, you know, I'm taking Devontae. All right, so now we're going to start our wide receiver run. We have tight end covered. We're not taking one till the later rounds. We have running back covered. We're not probably taking one till round 7. We have Devontae, and we're just going to load up now on wide receivers. Whichever decent wide receivers fall to us, we'll take them. And by decent, I mean good, obviously. But we have a ton of guys between rounds 4 to 6 that we can be targeting right now with a lot of confidence. Something tells me we're going to land Chris Olave yet again. If you're not seeing what I'm doing, I'm just queuing up a ton of receivers. Not Jerry Jeudy. Matthew Golden's getting queued up. Jacoby Myers. We have like 10 receivers queued up at this point. I'll obviously keep an eye out on running back or other positions if somebody just completely falls past where they should. But for right now, we're queuing up these positions nicely here. Take a QB. No tight end. It's best ball. Come on, man. You can pass on QB and tight end. The best ball, you could. That's not there's pretty good data that shows these early round QBs, and depending on the tier of the tight end, right, set you up so much further than everybody else. But I think all that data is pretty skewed and mostly bullshit since we're looking at 4 samples, very small samples where each year has their own quirks that happen, right? Yeah. Where are you putting DK Metcalf this year? I'm just kind of like in line with the field on DK Metcalf. I liked him a little bit more earlier on. I thought he would drop. He's my quarterback or my wide receiver 27. Don't hate it. Don't hate DK Metcalf by any means, but like I'm just in line with the field on him. I don't think you're going to win your leagues because you draft DK as a 4th or 5th round pick, and I don't think you'll lose him either. Lockett first pick equals league winner. Wow, that's crazy. We got some Tyler Lockett like lovers in the house right now. It's pretty wild. That's a pretty nice view. It's a pretty nice view. Cool. Running backs going off the board before our pick. We like that. We like when James Cook and Amarian Hampton and Joe Mixon go off the board when we're not targeting running back at all right now. We're loading up on wide receiver, and there's a ton of great ones left. DJ Moore, everybody's hating on him for basically no reason. I mean, if you were in a terrible offense last year with the offensive coordinator that they had, yeah, I'd probably be a little bit pissed as well. Ted McMillan, Cortland Sutton, George Pickens, Calvin Ridley, Chris Olave, all these guys, Matthew Golden over the next 3 to 4 rounds feel like pretty good picks to be making, especially as we see more and more running backs go. Joe Mixon, Breece Hall. Yeah, this feels good. Tyler Lockett is so underrated. Alrighty. All right. Unfortunately, a lot of the wide receivers are now going off the board. DJ Moore, Ted McMillan. Not enough, though, that we have to be worried. Cortland Sutton could fall to us here. I'll take him in the 4th round of these drafts. Oh, Devonta Smith's still on the board. We like that a lot. Jameson, I'd rather have Devonta. I'd rather have Cortland Sutton. We're on the board right now. We're going to take Devonta Smith in the 4th round of our draft. We like that a lot. And now we're only 2 more picks away. And then we get to snag another wide receiver who I would love it to be Cortland Sutton. We could do you guys want Jalen Hurts here in round 5? Do you want the elite quarterback if he makes it 2 more picks to pair up with Devonta Smith? Maybe backdoor Dallas Goedert later on? Let me know. You probably got 10 seconds to let me know. Where is Bowers landing? And he's usually a top 15 pick in most drafts. Jalen Hurts went. Doesn't even matter. Oh my God, Sal is live, says Colin. Yeah, what's up, man? This is the first live stream we've done, I think, since like week 1 of last year, which is pretty damn crazy if you think about it. Pretty damn crazy. We're on the board again, and we are hammering home Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton will open us up for a backdoor stack of Bo Nix, who we'd love to have. So far we have Saquon Barkley, Devontae Adams, Devonta Smith, Cortland Sutton, and Trey McBride. We're set on tight end. We're set on running back for a little bit longer. I'm going to keep loading up on wide receivers. Ideally, I want to have like 5 wide receivers, maybe even 6 by the time we hit round 10. I'm going to start to queue up some guys here. So if you want to see what I'm doing, I'm going to queue up Bo Nix because we know we have the option for a stack later on with Bo Nix. He's already gone in terms of Jalen Hurts. Somebody brought him up. We can queue up a late Matt Stafford for the Devontae Adams stuff. That's really hard to kind of backdoor stack him, though, at this point. Like Terrence Ferguson, Tutu Atwell, I guess. But, not really dying to get those guys on my team. We'll queue up a naked Justin Fields. We'll queue up a Brock Purdy, and we'll queue up a Drake May for those parts. Oh, where's JJ? We'll queue up a JJ as well, just for quarterback interests later on. Running back right now, there's a lot of options. We don't necessarily need to take one. We are entering round 6. This is where I would start to consider another running back, maybe round 7. You have great options in an Alvin Kamara, in an RJ Harvey, Henderson. I mean, James Conner, if he does fall somehow to round 7, I will be smashing that. Pause, rewind the tape, delete that. Aaron Jones falls too often as well. Yeah, we don't even have to look at tight end right now. Somebody mentioned tight end. We have Trey McBride if you didn't see that one. Cool. Just queue up a bunch of names here that we're liking or at least interested in, and we'll go from there. Cool. So we have everything in our queue. I'm down to get Chris Olave again if he falls to us. He's like the best available player right now, so I doubt he falls to us. Actually, he's not. He's the best available wide receiver. We're 9 picks away. Stranger things have happened. What's your opinion on contract year players? I mean, yeah, they're motivated. It depends when in their career they are, and obviously the team that they're on, but they're definitely more motivated if you're playing for a contract and you have to ball out. There's no doubt about that. You shouldn't double count it, right? Like they're motivated. That doesn't mean like, how do we judge motivation? It's hard to really tell, right? All these narratives, birthday narrative, revenge narrative, all these things. Just had a baby narrative, all these things, right? Like it's hard to really tell because we don't talk about the times where it doesn't hit, which is more often than not. Chris Olave does get drafted. Now we're going on a run right now of running backs. Makes sense. This part of the draft for running backs is pretty damn nice as we're in round 6. Don't forget about Darren Waller. We got him last draft, my man. Bro, he wants to be called Tetera, not Tet. Okay, we'll call him T-Mac. We'll split the difference if that makes everybody happy. We'll call him T-Mac. What do we got here as best available? Jacoby Myers, I don't hate at this point in the drafts. That's probably the move, although there's also a Matthew Golden on the board. Quinshon Judkins just goes. A lot of the running backs that I wanted have gone. I like Caleb Johnson as well at this point in the draft. I don't hate Caleb Johnson, but he just went. So since he just went, do we want Jacoby Myers? What do we have right now? We have Devonta. Let's go Matthew Golden. We'll go Golden over Jacoby Myers just because of the wide receivers we have. Like Adams, Devonta, Sutton, you kind of know what to expect. Matthew Golden gives us a little bit of upside there compared to a Jacoby Myers. Doesn't mean we can't come back around and get him. Doesn't mean we can't draft a Jaden Reed and then maybe backdoor this one with a Jordan Love, right? We're 2 picks away. We're 2 picks away, and I would go Jaden Reed here if it falls back to us, and then try and backdoor this one with a Jordan Love. That's our current plan. Yeah, we're 1 pick away. We're going to go Jaden Reed and then try and backdoor it. Light mode is crazy work, Sal. Yeah, I'm a dark mode guy. My bad. It's just easier to see, I think, for these streams. You let me know. Like, dark mode kind of looks crazy here. So we're going to go Jaden Reed. So we got the 2 Packers receivers, Golden and Jaden Reed. And, I mean, now we kind of have to get. I'm going to just stick with, what is this shit? Stick with light mode for now. But yeah, I'm a dark mode guy and everything else. It's interesting you call that out. Like, I never really thought about that for these drafts. I've been drafted on light mode. What is wrong with me? All right, so Jordan Love has to be a priority target now for that Packers stack later on. I mean, Kyler's still on the board if we wanted an early quarterback to pair up with a Trey McBride. Can get a Michael Wilson or later on in the draft. Kind of need to start to target our second running back here, though, with Saquon as we enter round 8. So I think second running back is going to be on my mind here unless a stud wide receiver continues to fall. So we'll just keep an eye on all these. And, you know, stud is relative at this point in the drafts. But, I mean, I'll take an Aaron Jones at this point. I'll take a round 9 Aaron Jones for sure at this point. Dark mode for sure, for sure. Dark mode is easier to read for me. I'm on mobile, though. All right. I mean, if the people are speaking, the people are speaking. I mean, that just looks so hard to read, but maybe I'm tripping. So he said he's also blind as fuck. So I don't think it matters either way. I think he's just blind as fuck. What would you say to the people that believe Rashee Rice is in a diluted wide receiver room and is a bust? I mean, I would say go watch the first 3 games of last year when he was healthy and the final 5 games of the year before that, and he's clearly not a bust. He's clearly not a bust. Is he in a diluted wide receiver room, meaning there's like no stud receivers? Yeah, sure. There's no Jamar Chase there, but he produces a stud wide receiver, and he was a very rare talent last year that created explosives on his own. Now, a lot of wide receivers create explosives downfield, 20-plus yard gains, by just catching a 20-plus yard pass. He was creating explosives by catching a 7-yard pass and turning it into 23, 27 yards, right? That's a very rare trait, yards after the catch ability, to the extent where you're creating explosive plays for your offense that lacked explosive plays last year pretty significantly. Are you hyped for the Flock League? Yeah, we're running it back. The draft will be some point in August. Don't want to give away any details on that. And then the video will probably come out shortly after that for year 2 of the Flock League. And then I'm sure we'll have the videos per usual. I love Mooney this season. I like where Mooney goes in drafts as well. Getting Mooney in like your season-long leagues in like round 9 feels really good. Bunch of wide receivers going in a row. Like, I don't hate the downs pick, but the second you have 5 wide receivers going in a row, you're probably getting bad value at the end of that. Mooney, probably not the worst value, but I would say Kupp is. Aaron Jones is still on the board. I think he'll be gone by the time we pick in 5 picks, but I am targeting Aaron Jones here, and he goes. So Aaron Jones goes. That's fine. We still have Kyler Murray on the board. That could be our quarterback to pair up with Trey McBride if we want to, but we do need some running backs because all we have at running back right now is one Saquon Barkley. So at this point, it doesn't even matter if I really like the running backs or not. We just need bodies. I don't mind Brian Robinson. I like Jordan Mason. But we just need bodies at this point. Almost 2 months till the season, gentlemen. Let's go. Yeah, let's go indeed. Why Devonta? Everyone's saying to fade him. We're playing in a best ball league where I just needed wide receivers. It's not like a do or die. I'm not targeting Devonta in my season long, but we're playing in a best ball league right now where we just need wide receiver depth. And we had the opportunity to maybe get him with Jalen Hurts, but he got taken right before us. Travis Etienne goes, I'm going to take Jordan Mason here with my 9th round pick, or my late 8th round pick. One of my favorite picks in the draft right now is Jordan Mason. I think he'll play close to 50% of the snaps, splitting with Aaron Jones, get a lot of the short yard potential red zone work, and then Aaron Jones, who he didn't miss games, but he left like 3 games early last year, usually misses time. He's always a potential to miss time. This point in the draft, Najee Harris starts to look good, right? When you have a 0 RB build. Kyler just went, so we kind of missed out on our quarterback. I'm going to be targeting here Justin Fields or Najee Harris. We'll see who falls to us. If they're both there, I'll probably take Justin Fields. Justin Fields goes a pick before us, making our pick really easy here. You know what? I think Najee we could probably wait on. Let's go with Bo Nix. So we get Bo Nix here. I think that's a better pivot to go with. We'll take Bo Nix. I wanted Kyler Murray to pair with Trey McBride for the stack, but we'll take Bo Nix and we get to pair him up with Cortland Sutton, which feels good. And then at that point in the draft, in like round 18, we can almost take whoever we want. Pat Bryant in like round 17. If we want to take a Devon Vele or a Marvin Mims, we can kind of end that stack off pretty well. So right now, my next option at quarterback is going to be to complete that Packers stack and get Jordan Love later on. I don't think we need to force that anytime soon. So Jordan Love's in the draft board for like 1 or 2 rounds from now. And since I have 2 Packers, I don't know if anybody's going to really want to take him. At this point, we need to pick another receiver, maybe a running back. We'll see what happens here. We got a lot of options, Jordan Mason or Charbonnet, I'll take Mason. Knicks could be top 5 this year. Good pick. Yeah, I mean, he was like borderline top 5 towards the end of last year. I like Knicks a lot. I am a fan of Bo Nix. I'm 50. I've been playing since 1988, and I've never made one trade. I mean, I don't know if that's a brag, but trading is like one of the biggest edges in fantasy. Most people don't make trades because they don't earn the trust of their league mates. Their league mates think they're trying to get one up on them. But if you earn the trust of your league mates and they actually trust you, not like you trying to force them to trust you because you've helped them throughout the year, or you're going to them with an actual trade offer that benefits both of you. Yeah, trades are like the only, like if you watched the Flock League last year, trades are the only reason why I had any chance. I was literally getting hit with like 5 injuries a week. It was absolutely terrible. Trades are the only reason I had any chance. Yeah, when you do beneficial trades that help both people out, it's like unlocks a whole nother fun part of trades. Kelsey versus TJ Hawkinson, easily TJ Hawkinson there. I'm not dying to have either guy, but easily TJ Hawkinson there. Let's load up this queue a little bit more at this point in the draft. Like Jalen Warren is falling so far. He's going to have to get taken soon. He's just falling so damn far. J.K. Dobbins is a depth piece on these builds. So many good running backs in the 0 RB range or hero RB range with Trey Benson, Ray Davis. These are the guys that, like, if something happens, you benefit a lot. Cool. This round is just best available. Like, we're probably one more round after this away from taking Jordan Love. But this round is just best available. And as of right now, for me, that's Jalen Warren. I mean, he's falling 50. He's falling 20 picks past ADP. At that point, if somebody falls 20 picks past ADP and there's not an injury or a reason why that's happening, and I'm going to just double check that there's not, then that's just a problem. I don't think he's going to make it to us 6 more picks, but you never know. Quarterback run happening right now between Goff, May, Caleb Williams. Is this Best Ball Mania? Yes, it is. It's Best Ball Mania. Thoughts on Travis Kelce versus... Oh, we just answered that one. Yeah, I'll take Hawkins in there. Where can I get the blueprint? You can go to jointheblueprint.com. The pricing of the blueprint does go up at midnight tonight. You've already seen that if you're part of the newsletter, getting my emails. Finally, Jalen Warren goes, which kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? So now we're just going to take best available. I mean, Marvin Mims is here. We can keep stacking. I'm not really into that all that much. I'm probably going to be targeting Tyjae Spears if he falls to us. Of course, literally every name I'm saying is getting taken. I don't know if you guys are in this draft board. I was saying Jalen Warren, he's gone. Tyjae Spears, he's gone. I mean, we still have Ray Davis. Might be a little bit early to jump the gun on Ray Davis, though. I'll take Javonte for right now, unless he goes to. Okay, he doesn't, thankfully. We just need running back depth. So we have Javonte, Saquon, and Jordan Mason. Obviously not great running backs behind Saquon, but that's the whole point of Hero RB. You load up your wide receivers. You get an elite tight end. At least we did at this point in the draft. And you go from there. This next pick is probably going to be Jordan Love because I don't think he makes it back around to us. So we'll go Jordan Love. We'll finish up our quarterback room. We'll get that Packers stack with Matthew Golden and Jaden Reed completed. And then we also have the Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton. So Jordan Love is who we're going with here. We finish off our quarterbacks. So Jordan Love stacked up with 2 Packers. Bo Nix stacked up currently with Cortland Sutton. And we can backdoor that with a Pat Bryant later on if we want to. Maybe even a Devon Vele, although I'm not as interested. So cool. Now I'm on the lookout for a best available running back wide receiver at this point. Or if a tight end falls way past ADP. What's your thoughts on J.K. Dobbins? I don't mind J.K. Dobbins. I don't think J.K. Dobbins, like, obviously he's on the same team as R.J. Harvey. But, like, I don't think we have to say it's one or the other. I think R.J. Harvey in round 6 or 7 of your season-long leagues is good, depending on the build. And I think J.K. Dobbins as a double-digit round pick is also good. Like, he's going to get snaps. He's not explosive, but he's going to get snaps. And if something obviously happens to Harvey or the rookie just doesn't pan out in the NFL, then Dobbins is going to see basically that whole workload. Mark Andrews, where do you see him landed if traded? I mean, you could just name a bunch of teams, right? Like, I don't think it really helps to just like guess on the teams at this point, right? Like you can just land guess, or say a bunch of teams at that point. It doesn't really matter where he gets traded. It depends on the capital that he's traded for. Like, is Mark Andrews traded for a 5th round pick, or is he traded for a 3rd round pick, right? I don't think he's getting a 3rd round pick, but absolutely love your content, Sal. Gotta say, I'm disappointed in the hike of the Blueprint cost. I do understand the increase, can't afford it, even if it's worth it. Yeah, that's fine. The Blueprint won't be for everybody. I'm going to continue to enjoy your content, stay subscribed, and promote for sure. Yeah, there's going to be tons of free content on all platforms, as you've seen. But yeah, the Blueprint is actually the same price as it was last year. There was a one-time offer to go through a partner last year, which is most likely what you did for a small group of people. But that offer is not available anymore. It was a one-time promotion. But the Blueprint is the exact same price as last year. It's going up this year 50% tonight, just due to the demand so far. But yeah, like, the Blueprint pricing won't be for everybody, and that's completely okay. That's why we have just the abundance of free content as well. Alrighty. What do we got here? So we're good on quarterbacks. Trey Benson, Austin Eckler, we're still in that range of the draft where these guys look good. Ray Davis, of course, just goes right before us. I mean, 10 picks past ADP. If Marvin Mims starts falling more, we're going to have to double stack. There he goes. Thank God he went. I didn't want to have to take him. Thank goodness that guy went. Xavier Legette, I don't mind at this point in drafts. Romeo Doubs. We have Pat Bryant later on if we want to get some sort of build going there. Cool. Trey Benson at this point in the draft is my target, but I think he probably goes pretty soon. We're 5 picks away. I would love to see Joe Milton on the field this season. That would be cool. If Mark Andrews is traded, where would that put Isaiah Likely in your tight end rankings? Oh, he would jump. They're already saying everything positive about Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely is currently my tight end 17. He would probably easily jump into my top 12 and most likely my top 10, right around Evan Ingram and David Njoku. So yeah, he'd probably be right in my top 10. You could even convince me to go above like an Evan Ingram or an Njoku, depending on their situations by the time the season starts. We're going to go Trey Benson here. We'll keep loading up on these RB2s that if the RB1 goes down, they're probably seeing all the workload like a Jordan Mason, like a Trey Benson. Could potentially keep doing that with the Tyler Algier with our next pick. Ooh, Josh Palmer still available? I think Josh Palmer is a sneaky option. Between him and Elijah Moore, one of those guys for Buffalo seems like they're going to earn, 70-plus targets, right? That feels pretty good. Rashad White's still on the board. Ooh, Rashad White's interesting as well. Pass catching RB, going to have a role no matter what. Obviously, Bucky Irving's there, but Rashad White will not just have zero work. So Rashad White's interesting as well here. Maybe we make it back around to Tyler Algier. Xavier Legette goes, do we want Rashad White, Isaac Horrendo, or Tyler Algier here? Let's go Rashad White. Rashad White about 5 picks past ADP, and just like that, we loaded up on our our hero RB, and we got the rest of RBs that we need. We just need one of these guys to hit. Obviously, if Saquon gets hurt or something, we're losing anyway, so we're banking on Saquon being healthy the whole season. Isaiah Likely still on the board for tight ends. Not bad either. Right now, I'm looking for one more wide receiver and then a tight end, and we'll finish it up from there as we're starting to get deeper into this draft. We're now in round 14, my next pick. Nice to see you streaming an underdog draft. Yeah, we're going to be doing more drafts, probably some DraftKings drafts starting next week as well. Won my league last year. Thanks to you, brother. Shout out you. You signed up with Better. That's awesome. Hell yeah. That's the whole point. Get the blueprint, win the league. Why not? Just got here. What's the team looking like? Let's show you what the team's looking like. We went hero RB with Saquon first. We then just landed in a terrible spot in the draft and we're basically forced to take McBride for what was left. Then we loaded up on wide receivers, Adams, Devonta Smith, Sutton, Golden, and Reed, basically in that order. We came back around. We stacked our wide receivers, Bo Nix, Sutton. Can even get another guy later on, Jordan Love with his wide receivers. And then we started filling in these RB2s for the hero RB build. I like Jordan Mason. I think Javante's fine right now. Benson, Rashad White, guys who will definitely be involved in their offense. I think we can even land maybe an Austin Eckler if he lands another 10 picks. Unlikely, but just these guys that we know have roles no matter what. Otherwise, you get your Braylon Allens later on, things like that as we scroll through and add some more pieces to this. Wide receiver-wise, though, like Pat Bryant is an option for us since we have that Denver stack. Romeo Doubs, we can triple stack the Packers if we really want to bet on that offense. They should be throwing more this year. They ran a ton last year, and a lot of that had to do, I believe, with the success of Josh Jacobs, one, but also the fact that Jordan Love got hurt week 1, right? Like, that's not going to continue to happen. He's not just going to be hurt all year. Your thoughts on Keenan Allen? Yeah, he's a free agent. We got to see where he lands, right? At this point, I don't really expect much. Similar to DeAndre Hopkins signing with the Ravens, I don't expect much. I expect maybe 1 or 2 weeks here or there. Maybe you get a double touchdown week or something nice, but overall, we're not expecting much. Won my league last year thanks to you. Shout out you. Shout out you. Trey Benson, yeah. Let's talk Kyle Pitts. He'd be perfect if the Rams or Commanders offense. Yeah, the Rams, it would be interesting, right? They have Tyler Higbee. They drafted Terrence Ferguson, and they appear to be very high on Terrence Ferguson, but of course he's Terrence Ferguson. Like he's not a proven player in this league as a rookie, late round rookie, later round. Yeah, I think he's interesting. We need to get a second tight end soon. We have McBride. We're feeling pretty good about that, but we need to target a second tight end soon as we're now approaching around 15 of the draft. But I have 2 back-to-back picks here. Pat Bryant just went, which kind of ruined any hopes that we had of stacking Denver up with Sutton, Bo Nix, but that's fine. We don't really need that. We're 2 picks away. I'm eyeing up Roschon Johnson at this point in the 14th round. If he goes, then we have Braylon Allen. And then from there, I'll look for a second tight end. Your content definitely helped me make Best Ball Mania finals last year. We'll be locked into the streams this year. Hell yeah. That's what we like to hear. What's your thoughts on taking handcuffs of your RBs on Best Ball? Example, taking Walker and Charbonnet. I'd rather not. I think you're hedging against yourself. I'd rather not. Roschon Johnson or Romeo Doubs. Do we want to triple stack it up? Not really. I'll go Roschon Johnson here. Super chat. So we got Roschon. We're done with running backs. We'll secure another tight end and then some receivers. So we have super chats here. Pick 8, half PPR. Are you reaching for an RB or wide receiver? I mean, if a good wide receiver falls to me, like I doubt Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb fall to you, but maybe then take them. Otherwise, CeeDee Lamb hopefully is there, or not CeeDee Lamb. Christian McCaffrey's there. Now, if those 7 guys go in that order, that's where you have to start thinking about, are you taking an Ashton Jeanty versus Nico Collins? For me personally there, if that's how it lands out in my top overall rankings, I have Ashton Jeanty at number 8. So I'd personally be taking Ashton Jeanty. We're on the clock right now. Let's go ahead and take Romeo Doubs. Let's triple stack it. Let's get fucking crazy. I'm trying to build a unique build here to actually win this $2 million or $3 million prize. So we have Jordan Love stacked up with 3 of his wide receivers. Yeah, that's crazy. The triple stack is like insane. But we're in round 6-15 of a best ball draft, so I do not care too much. We need tight ends though. We need tight ends for sure, and probably a third quarterback. But we're done with running back. We could be done with receiver, though we probably need one more. So our final 3 picks are going to be receiver, quarterback, and tight end. Don't really care the order. Will depend on the board at this point. But of course, we want upside, baby, if it's available. Darius Slayton will queue up. We'll start queuing up some names. I mean, Keenan Allen at this point is worth queuing up because I do think he's playing football this year. We'll get Tyler Shough in here again. I think tight end's the next pick just based on how thin it's getting at this point. Mason Taylor, Jacob Conquo. We just want to avoid the week 8 bye. Please win the Flock League this year. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, my guy. I mean, the goal is to just smack around Mason and all those other chumps. My guy in the chat loves Tyler Lockett. He's going to give you a 30-point week, he says. I like it. Why not Gesicki at this point? We could do Gesicki. Is he still on the board? I don't see Gesicki on the board anymore. I mean, the tight ends are all gone at this point in the draft. Jatavion Sanders, I like. I don't mind Theo Johnson coming back. Yeah, Gesicki's gone. He went a couple picks earlier. Somebody said he queued the wrong time. The same guy, dude. Crazy guy. Cool. Yeah, these final rounds of the draft, kind of boring, kind of fun to just look and see what happens. If you have any final questions after this draft's done, we're probably bouncing. So just get your final questions in right now because your boy needs some food. Final reminder, if you want, you can head to fantasyrankingsfree.com. You can get my free top 50 overall rankings. I'll put them in the chat one more time, the link for that. The free top 50 overall rankings, it should be linked down below. This stream will disappear after we're live. It'll be done. Love the live field, by the way. We'll gladly attend more if you continue doing these. I will. I'll be doing them at least once a week during the summer and then at least once a week during the season. But make sure you get your free top 50 overall. Frymuth is useless this year. It does feel like that after Jonnu Smith went there, right? It does feel like that indeed. Yeah, I'm just going to target best available tight end, either Jatavion Sanders or Chig Okonkwo at this point. I don't really care too much when we have already Trey McBride. If something happens to McBride, we're not winning anything anyways. Yeah, so check out that top 50 overall rankings. If you have any questions, let me know. More content. Video will be dropping tomorrow. The last 2 videos we put out, I think, are the 2 best so far this summer. I probably say that about all the recent videos, but those ones are really popping off because I think they're answering a lot of people's questions. Are you going to make a video on some of the best players to take flyers on towards the end of the draft? So yeah, we have like a must draft sleepers video already up and another one coming out pretty soon. I'm going to take Chig Okonkwo here. Improved offense. We take Chig Okonkwo, improved quarterback, improved potentially offensive line. So we see what happens with the tight end who might be the number 2 option on his team. From there, we have 2 rounds left. We're about to pick again. I'm probably targeting Darius Slayton if he falls 2 picks to us. To finish up our wide receiver, he got a lot of money, Darius Slayton. He's going to play on the outside, attached to Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston for probably at least a chunk of the season, if not all. That feels pretty good for Darius Slayton, who won't have anywhere near the attention on him as a Malik Neighbors will. So we finish off our wide receivers with Darius Slayton, and then we'll finish off our last pick with either a 3rd quarterback or a 3rd tight end, depending on the best available. Probably 3rd quarterback, since we have Trey McBride. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like rookies and stuff like that, yeah, we'll have a video. We had a must draft sleepers video last year that came out. I believe we already have a must draft sleepers video out on the channel for this year, but we'll have content for like those late round guys for sure, and they're kind of sprinkled into a lot of my content already. But yeah, yeah, we had like 5 running backs you should be drafting. A lot of those guys go later in drafts. 5 wide receivers you should be drafting. Those videos went out and they kind of follow that format as well. Ja'Cory Cross-Get-Merritt, personally, I think he explodes in the preseason and locks up a roster spot. I like him as a flyer. It's hard to really like a guy like that as a flyer when he has 2 proven veterans ahead of him. Now, those proven veterans did just get hurt last year, so like that's one path to seeing some playing time. But like that's the only problem with these 7th round flyers. Like, yes, occasionally one of these flyers will hit. Like occasionally, it's rare, right? Like we have 7th round Isaiah Pacheco pops off here or there. James Robinson pops off. Austin Eckler undrafted pops off, right? But they're few and far between compared to all the guys who don't. And it's really hard to see that happening when you're a 7th round pick fighting for a roster spot with 2 veterans ahead of you. So that's my only concern there. Genty versus McCaffrey. That question will be answered in an upcoming video, but I like McCaffrey. I'll tell you. I'll spoil the secret for you. I like when people suddenly become good out of nowhere. Yeah, so do I. It's even better when they get paid for doing that. It's the whole point, right? It's the whole point. Breakouts and get your money. Season long, do you prefer running back or wide receiver in round 1? Changes year to year. It depends on where you're picking from, my guy. Depends on where you're picking from. I really like doing hero RB builds in season long so far this year. If you have like pick 3 through 6 and you can take a Bijan at pick 3, that's amazing. If I could take Bijan Robinson at pick 3 and Saquon and Jamar Chase go first, I feel really good about that. If you're at pick 7 and like McCaffrey's there, yeah, I feel really good about that. But if I'm at pick 5 and Bijan and Gibbs and Saquon are gone, I'm taking CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson over McCaffrey, right? I don't hate if you take McCaffrey there, but it really just depends where you pick from. It really just depends. We have 5 picks left. We're just waiting on our final pick here this draft. Again, just a reminder, this stream will go, it'll just disappear after this. So if you want, as a final reminder, the fantasy blueprint this year, the pricing increases at midnight tonight. Another email, if you're on the email list, will be releasing in 1 hour. It's going to increase by 50%. So the cost goes up by 50% at midnight tonight. So if you plan on getting it in August or September when your draft is, right now is the best time to lock it in because the price is going up significantly tomorrow, literally by 50% due to the demand that we're getting. If you want to know where to get the blueprint, you just go to jointheblueprint.com. All right, let's see this last pick. Quarterback or quarterback or tight end do you guys want here? I'm going to go with a quarterback, and I'm going to be going with Russell Wilson over Jackson Dart. Let's go Russell Wilson. All righty, so there we go. Finalization of this team is Bo Nix, Jordan Love, Russell Wilson at quarterback. We stacked up Jordan Love and Bo Nix, and we also stacked up Russell Wilson since we took Darius Slayton late. We went hero RB with Saquon Barkley. We then just loaded up on some running backs basically through rounds like 7 and later on. Jordan Mason, Javonte, Trey Benson, Rashad White, Roschon Johnson. We just need one of these other running backs behind Saquon to do something, and we're feeling decent. Wide receivers then Devonta Adams, or Devonta Smith, Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, Matthew Golden, and Jaden Reed, and Romeo Doubs, the rare triple stack to pair up with Jordan Love. We'll test that one out. And then Darius Slayton to pair up with Russell Wilson. We got Trey McBride with our 2nd overall pick, and then we took tight end Chig Okonkwo and an improved offense. Yeah, I feel fine about the draft. In terms of like one spot that I would love to have changed, it would have been to just have one of those other guys that I wanted to draft fall to us in round 2 instead of Trey McBride. Like still have a Ladd McConkey on the board, or an AJ Brown, or a T Higgins. They all got taken. We just kind of landed in like the worst spot at that point. Oh, I didn't want to reach on a Tyreek Hill in round 2. Marvin Harrison in round 2. We already had our running back, so yeah, Trey McBride felt okay there. Is Olave going to the Steelers? I don't think so, unless something happened while we were live, but I don't think so. All right. Appreciate it. Peace out, everybody. Get the free rankings, the free top 50 rankings. You can head to fantasyrankingsfree.com. And if you're interested in getting the blueprint at any point this offseason, the pricing does go up by 50% at midnight tonight. So if you were going to get it, literally now is the best time all year. Pricing goes up 50%. You can head to jointheblueprint.com. I'll see you all in there. If you have any questions, you can just hit me up in the Discord.